What's up, Titans? This is Mr. Sturts. In this short video, we're going to finish up section 9.4, which deals with writing quadratic equations in vertex form. So go ahead and open up your student journals. Our first example here, they want us to find the minimum value of this quadratic equation. And how we're going to actually go about this is we're going to rewrite this quadratic equation in vertex form, which we've worked with before. Okay, a little review. Vertex form is the form y equals a, when a is not 0, x minus h squared plus k. Okay, and a reminder, the vertex is the point h comma k. Okay, and we kind of always remembered we think opposite on h. So what we're going to do is we're going to rewrite this in vertex form. So our first step is, once we have this equation, I'm going to rewrite it here. Y equals x squared plus 4x minus 1. We're going to check if we can rewrite that right side as the square of a binomial. Okay, and we talked about in class today completing the square. Is this negative 1 half of 4 squared? Well, half of 4 is 2. 2 squared is 4, so we know that's not right. So what we need to do is let's move this 1 to the left side. So let's do that by adding 1 to each side. So now on the left side we have y plus 1 equals x squared plus 4x. Okay, now we're going to work with that right side, and what we're going to do is we're going to complete the square. So we're going to take half of b, which in this case b is 4, and we're going to square it. So we have half of 4 is 2, 2 squared is 4, so let's go ahead and add 4. So we're completing the square, we're adding 4 to the right side. Now whatever we do to the right side to keep our equation balanced, we also have to do to the left, so we're going to add 4 over here as well. So when we do that, we have y plus 5 now equals our x squared plus 4x plus 4. And now we're going to rewrite that right side as the square of a binomial. So we're going to factor form there. We have something squared. Well, we know it's x. Since that middle number is positive, it's going to be a plus 2 squared equals y plus 5. Now if we look up to the top right there, we're almost in that vertex form. We have our parentheses. We have our a, which is just 1 before it. We need plus k. So if we subtract 5 on both sides, now we have y equals x plus 2 squared minus 5. We have it in vertex form. To find our vertex, we said it was hk, and we kind of thought opposite. So our vertex is going to be negative 2, negative 5. We see that a is positive in this case because this number is a 1 here, which is a positive 1. So we know that's going to open up. So it's going to have a minimum. And if we remember our minimum, if we have a parabola that opens up, our minimum is our y value. So our y value is negative 5. So we have a minimum of negative 5. Alright, last example here. We're going to now find the maximum value. We see this negative in here. We're going to kind of follow our same steps. So if we rewrite our equation, again, we're going to write this in vertex form. So our first step is, let's go ahead and move our 7 to the other side. So subtract it from both sides. We have y minus 7 equals negative x squared plus 2x. Now this negative, let's go ahead and factor out our negative here, because we need our a out front in vertex form. So if we factor that out, we're going to factor out a negative, basically a negative 1. And when we do that, negative 1 times what is x squared? Well, we know negative 1 times x squared is negative x squared. We factored out a negative, so we're making the signs opposite. We still have our y minus 7. Now we're going to complete our square. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're really going to take half of our b, which is 1, and square it. Well, 1 squared is just 1, so we're really going to add 1 on this right side. So we have x squared minus 2x plus 1. So we complete the square over there. Now, the tricky thing here is when we add 1 to the right side, if we think distributing this negative 1, we're actually subtracting 1 from the right side. So that's what we need to do to the left side as well, is we actually need to subtract 1. So that step's a little tricky. Just remember, when we factored out that negative, it's really like we're subtracting 1 when we add 1 on the right side. So now we have this here. We're almost there. We need to rewrite our right side. So we have negative 1 out here as the square of a binomial. And we see it's going to be x minus 1, y minus 8. Now we just need to get it in vertex form, so if we add 8 to both sides, we get y equals -1, which is our a value, x minus 1 squared plus 8. Now we're in vertex form. So our vertex, we said, was h comma k, which in this case is -1, but we think opposite, so +1 comma 8. We see that it's negative, so it's going to open down, so our parabola opens down. So we're going to actually have a maximum value. So we have a maximum of our y value, which is 8. Okay, we're all finished with the notes. Go ahead and open up to page 294. There are a couple problems here to complete, and we will look these over in class tomorrow. Thank you for watching.